I want to silence all the haters that say there's no defense in the NBA. We're talking about the Boston Celtics right here. One of the better defensive teams in the entire world, right? If they have problems guarding a simple down screen, then it's not about lack of defense, right? Then it's just about being so good on offense that sometimes you just can't be stopped. Welcome back to the Coach's Mind podcast. Today we are back with another episode full of breakdowns, teaching moments, and some viral clips. The introduction today, I want to talk about the NBA. First episode, we talked about a pretty historical week for basketball overall. And after the first 2 weeks of NBA regular season, I want to chime in with a historical bench production by the Golden State Warriors. Right, a little bit of background. Regular NBA rosters, up to 15 players. And usually in the regular season, teams play 8-9 players deep, usually. Steve Kerr this season went against the grain and is playing 13 players in his main rotation, right? So everybody who's watched a basketball game before, who's coached a game before, or was part of a game too, like 8 players in addition to the starting 5 playing in every single game, that's not easy to handle, right? Steph Curry, for example, doesn't play more than 28 minutes per game right now, which is insane, right? A superstar, his caliber, not playing more than 28 minutes a game. There are so many ideas behind it, right? If you listen to Steve Kerr's press conferences, when he was asked about his idea, it's number one, of course, preserving his starters' minutes, right? The stars' minutes before they head into the playoffs. 82 games is a long season. So the word load management, that got thrown out a lot, I think plays a big role in there. Number two, the Warriors are just extremely deep, right? If you think about players like Jonathan Kuminga, Moses Moody taking the next step, they brought in D'Anthony Melton, who surprised me completely with his play, came up with big-time shots this last week. Lindy Waters, a guy came from the TBL, right, out of nowhere, shooting 40+% from three. And then Gary Payton bringing back the defensive energy. Like, they are just extremely deep, right? And the last time the Warriors were that deep and that good on defense, we all know what happened, right? I'm pretty excited to see how long they can ride these 13 players and at what time Steve Kerr and the coaching staff decide to shorten the rotation. My guess is closer to All-Star break, latest after All-Star break when they make the playoff push. But as of right now, it's working. They have the second best record in the West with 9-2, only trailing behind OKC. If you guys remember in my first episode, I said OKC is going to win the West again, and they on a big step there. Starting the season without Jalen Williams and without Isaiah Hartenstein, and now losing Chet Holmgren and still only losing one game on that stretch, that's big time. But back to the Warriors. So historically speaking, they are the most productive bench in NBA history. As of right now, the bench players produce 58 points per game, right? Compared to a regular high school basketball game here in Tampa, this is more points per game than most of the teams will produce in an entire game. And we're talking about the entire high school game. So 58 points per game is 4.8 points per game more than the 2018-19 Los Angeles Clippers, who held the records until now. And there's one player sticking out to me. And a lot of players, or a lot of fans, a lot of media didn't know how he would fit into the Warriors system. But after the first 2 weeks of season, we got to say that Buddy Hield is just the man right now, coming off the bench. His stats are just speaking for himself, right? He's shooting 47% from three on almost 8 attempts. If you just shoot by yourself at LA Fitness, shoot 10 threes, if you make 5 of them, then you're good, right? Now we're talking about Buddy Hield, who's running around screens, who's known as one of the best shooters in the game, who has been chased around screens, running in transition, closeouts, like people coming after him, and he's still making every second shot that he's taking, right? So 47%, almost, like, this is insane. Like, let's just keep it like that. And almost 8 attempts. And once we go into the video breakdown, we're going to see like how the Warriors utilize him to his strengths, but also it just shows that Buddy not only replaces Klay at this point of his career, but he's also an upgrade to Klay, right? Buddy stats, he averages 1.24 PPP, which stands for points per possession. As a thought on the backside, like 1 point per possession is already elite, right? Most of the players, the average is somewhere between 0.6 and 0.8 points per possession. And Buddy Hield in his limited minutes off the bench is averaging 1.242 points per possession. That shows how valuable he is for the Warriors system, right? And I want to get right into the film right here to just show how the Warriors utilize his strengths and how he just complements playing alongside Steph and Draymond. All right, so first play right here is against the Dallas Mavericks. And we're going to see right away what makes Buddy Hield so dangerous, right? First of all, let's look at him right here. I think it's remarkable to say that he is so wide open on the three-point line, right? But now let's watch his movement. He will not stop moving until he gets the ball. Let's look at this. Hustling for the offensive rebound, right? Rightfully so, Kuminga starts to put it back out to the three-point line, trying to generate an open three. Doesn't happen, but now let's watch Buddy. Creates a paint touch. Kick out to Podziemski, doesn't stop moving. So now this is the patented Golden State Warriors post splits, right? If you don't know what the post splits are, I'm going to explain that real quick. So we see Podziemski entered the ball into the low post. That's the rule. If you watch a Warriors game, and now I promise you cannot unsee it the next time you watch the Warriors play, whoever enters the ball into the post sets the screen for the next guy. All right, in this case, it's going to be Podziemski setting the screen for Buddy. Ironically, who's guarding Buddy? Klay Thompson, the guy who ran the post splits for 13 years to perfection and should have known what's coming, can't guard it. Right? There's that flare screen we're talking about. If you see, he tries to communicate, right? That hand goes up. I think they communicated the switch. Luka is way too far down here. Can't keep up. And this is what's going to happen if you fall asleep against the Warriors. Wide open three. All right, so let's watch this again in full speed. And you're just going to see how much Buddy Hield is moving. And we all know that reminds us a lot of Steph and Klay in their best times, right? So you just see the fit in one clip. You already see why Buddy Hield is perfect for the Warriors. Into the paint, out. Doesn't stop running. There's no hesitation. Boom, post splits. I mean, that's just bellissimo basketball right there. Right? There's only one way to describe that. All right, second play right here. Same game. Very simple entry. Right? It's called delay action. In transition, when the guard passes the ball to the big, and then they start their delay action. What they're going to do is another concept called get action. Right? So Steph passes the ball to Kevon and follows right back for the handoff. Handoff flows right into a pin down. And this is just simple offense, but you just got to see the gravity and the skill set that's just complementary on the Warriors squad right here. Right? So we see Kevon Looney flowing right into the pin down right here. And now this is just pick your poison type of stuff. If the defenders go with Buddy, right, Kevon Looney is going to slip the screen. If they stay attached to Kevon, Buddy is going to be open. And we're going to see what happens here. Right? And I wouldn't even want to say this is bad defense right there. This is just so freaking good, right? That we're going to watch this again and just look at the catch and shoot speed, right? From the moment he catches the ball to the moment he releases, it's just hard to guard that. Right? Let's take a look at that. He catches the ball with 15 seconds on the shot clock. Okay? He releases the ball. Still 15 seconds on the shot clock. So in less than a second, he catches the ball, finds his rhythm, and shoots the ball over the outstretched arm of a defender. Like, I don't want to hear anyone saying, oh, in the NBA, they don't play defense. Like, this is why it's all blown up stats. You have to guard the best players in the world night after night, possession after possession. Like, it's impossible, right? So yes, there is a case for they're not 100% defense, not the best effort in the regular season, but it's also hard to guard the best players in the world, the most skilled players in the world, playing in space with perfect execution like that, right? It's just simply hard to guard. All right, coming right into the next screen right here. All right, and I want you guys to really pay close attention to Buddy here, right? He's defending the shot, and there's no hesitation. Like, he knows he finds open shots in transition. So let's watch him. Take your eyes on him.
Curry comes away with it. Warriors trying to put the hammer down here. To 25. Doubled again as Kyle Anderson, the decision maker.
Okay, so what looks like a super slow possession, there's just so much to unpack right here, right? We see Steph gets the ball with 24 seconds on the shot clock, right? 24 on the shot clock after rebound, but he gets down to the other end in 3 seconds, right? And this could have also been a wide open three right here. 3 seconds into the possession, excuse me. So now what comes next is another Warriors staple in the offense. We all know that. We've seen that for years, right? I'm going to talk about this. Excuse me. Right here. So this has been in the Warriors playbook since Steve Kerr took over, and Klay Thompson and Steph Curry made their careers off of that. You see Buddy Hield coming from inside the paint to the outside, and everybody knows if somebody is running at you, you are supposed to set this in screen for the shooter, right? If we look at, let's watch Buddy right here. You can see him pointing at Kuminga to remind him to set the in screen, right? And if that was a high quality screen, Buddy would have had another 3-pointer right here. Bad execution, right? But in true Warriors fashion, they flow right into a pick and roll. And we all know, if you put 2 on the ball against Steph, they're going to play 4 on 3 against you. And it's just game over, right? They have so many decision makers. They have so many wide open shooters. Like, if you play 4 on 3 against the Warriors, you put 2 on the ball, there's nothing you can do. Right, and you could just hear the announcer saying, "Welcome to the Warriors world." I think that just sums it up perfectly, right? Buddy Hield is just a perfect addition for the Warriors squad. So another golden rule that they have in the Warriors playbook, right? Steve Kerr is phenomenal with that and using his best shooters as the screeners. So right here, Buddy's going to set the back screen to just receive a wide pin down from Kevon Looney, right? We saw that in the opening game for the Lakers. JJ Redick ran the same exact play with Dalton Knecht and LeBron James. There's a simple concept. You see that more and more in the NBA these days, right? But this is just so hard to guard because of the gravity. And we're going to see it right here. Right? So let's look at this closely. He's slipping the screen, right? He's supposed to hit this guy. He's just slipping the screen because Celtics getting ready to switch. That means he's flying off of the screen. Now Tatum doesn't want to help, right? I'm going to stop that right here. We see Tatum in the drop coverage right here because Kevon Looney is a non-shooter out there, right? But if he jumps out on Buddy Hield, Kevon Looney is smart enough to just slip it here. So now it's just pick your poison type of deal, right? They're trying to chase Buddy Hield over the screen, and we saw earlier against the Warriors, not a good idea. Against the Mavs, sorry. And then there's just this ridiculously quick release again, right? It's so hard to guard a player that can release the ball in like 0.5, 0.6 seconds. It's hard to guard. All right, we've seen this earlier, but just one more time. I want to silence all the haters that say there's no defense in the NBA. We're talking about the Boston Celtics right here. One of the better defensive teams in the entire world, right? If they have problems guarding a simple down screen, then it's not about lack of defense. Right? Then it's just about being so good on offense that sometimes you just can't be stopped. Just look at this shot. That's ridiculous, right? Pritchard is all over him. He's contesting as best as he can. Now, detail. On the right-handed shooter, do you want to close up with your right hand? On that level, probably not. You might want to use your left hand and mirror the shooting hand. But regardless, this is a well-contested shot, and Buddy just knocks it down. Right? And then the last clip I want to show is just the chemistry and the basketball IQ that Steph Curry and Buddy Hield just play off of each other. Very smart. That's the game-winning shot right here. Is the dagger against the Celtics. So now they got the switch they wanted, right? This is typical NBA late-game execution. They involve Al Horford in the pick and roll because they know they're going to get the switch they want. So right here we see Horford switched on Curry, which makes Tatum helping one pass away. Now, of course, people trolled him already for that he fell asleep and he left Buddy. But this is also how smart Buddy is. If he just stayed and held his position, there's no way he's going to receive that ball because Tatum is in the passing line. So what does he do? He flares to the corner and gets right into between those two defenders for an open passing lane and knocks down the shot. That's just not only skill, because this is also basketball IQ playing off of each other. If you have two great shooters that can generate on-ball offense and shoot off the ball, it's just hard to guard, right? Right here. And there's nothing anyone in the world can do against a wide open shot like that. Just pray that he misses. Right? So I hope that gave you guys an insight on why I think Buddy Hield is a perfect addition for the Warriors. He not only replaces Klay Thompson, he might even be an upgrade. And this is no knock on Klay Thompson, but just at the point of his career that he's at, coming back from the injuries. He was just never the old Klay, and I think Buddy just fills in that role perfectly. And it's the reason why, or one of the main reasons the Warriors bench is historically good this season. Flowing into the next section of this podcast, I want to talk about a player that has made himself a name in the Tampa area this last summer, dominating all the local men's leagues, playing his heart out in the TBT. And I had the chance to work with him a couple of times, be in the gym with him before he left. And he started his rookie season this year in Finland. I want to talk about Bryce Beamer a little bit. Bryce, as you guys know, if you follow the Tampa, Florida Pickup podcast, he just signed a contract in Finland in Oulu Basket. And this is the highest league in Finland. The first 5 games of the season, he's averaging 29 points, 9.4 rebounds, 1.4 assists. And that just sounds like the regular stats of his Thursday night Wiregrass men's league games. But every US hooper out there that's listening to this knows how hard it is to adjust to the European style of basketball. It's a completely different game, right? And for him to score 29 points and 9 rebounds, almost averaging a double-double, out of the first 5 games, he recorded 3 double-doubles already, right? Double-double, we all know, 10 or more in 2 different offensive categories in his box score. His shooting splits, incredible. I knew this guy could shoot the ball, and I was convinced that he's going to have a good rookie season, but what he's showing this season is insane. So he's shooting 58% from the field, 42 from the three-point line, and 86 from the free throw line. This is just 4% short from the almighty 50-40-90 club, right? 50-40-90 club, 50% from field goal, 40% from 3, and 90% from the free throw line. We talked about points per possession earlier with Buddy Hield. Similar to here. Again, reminder, 1 point per possession is already considered elite. Bryce is averaging 1.239 points per possession in his first season. Shout out to Bryce for bringing the work ethic, bringing the humility and coachability to just be coach in the European system and finding his role. But also shout out to Oulu head coach for giving him the spots or finding him in spots and making him look good and make his transition a little bit easier. Okay, so I brought some clips from Bryce's first 5 games, and I just want to show how versatile he is, how well-rounded he is, and why I was convinced months ago when I first saw him play that he's going to have a great European career. All right, let's watch this right here. Everyone who watched him play, he knows he's a physical player, right? So after he took off, first action he's looking for is his post-up because he's just a super versatile player. He's considered shooting guard, small forward, can do it all. Can score on all 3 levels, and I'm going to show you how he's doing that, right? Quick post-up. Honestly, this is his first chance to score right here. Right, his point guard misses the pass, but honestly, if you throw it back there, there's no backside help. That should be an easy bucket for Bryce right here. But he doesn't give up, right? He's not getting frustrated with his teammate. He's hanging around the low post and finding the next good spot. And that's what makes him so valuable, right? You already see ball swung the side and right there. Quick duck in, getting his man on the backside. This is exactly how he's generating his offense, right? He's using his strong body to his advantage. He's running right back. We said first post up, point guard missed him, so he keeps the flow alive. Swing the ball to the second side, and now we see it just keeps moving. All right, that's just great patience, especially for a rookie. I cannot say this enough. Like, let's not forget. Yes, he played his college career, Division I, Binghamton. He had his couple of years, but he's still a rookie, right? So he's supposed to make rookie mistakes. He just doesn't play like a rookie. Again, we see quick transition, ball screen. Nothing's going to get out of that. He's slipping the screen into his most loved low post entry right there. Boom. Flow into the low post and right there. And 1. Right? Just look at the poise and the decision-making skill a young player like him already has, right? On the catch, you can see it. On the catch, he's feeling that this defender's taking away the middle. So immediately on the touch, you can see his body is already adjusting. What I like most about this, and this is a small detail that is unfortunately is undertaught, on the catch, watch his feet. He's going to lift both feet off the ground to use ground reaction force, right, to spin around and be able to accelerate around the defender. On the catch, boom. And it's just hard to guard. Once you open the defender's hips, right? Once you make him turn, it's hard for him to stay in front of him. Right? And that's exactly what he's doing here. Another quality, and I think that's a quality of Bryce's, that he's not too proud to do the dirty work. If you watch his teammates shoot, he's always in the mix. Sacrificing his body, fighting for extra possessions, low post, offensive rebounds. Like, that's his game. That dude does whatever it takes to win. And I think that's a great example for young players out there trying to make it. Don't be too cool for the dirty work. Right? Earns his team an extra possession just because he wants to outwork people. And then there's no flex. Watch his reaction after he makes the bucket. It's a tough bucket, some contact. There's no foul call, right? He doesn't complain. He doesn't flex on nobody. All he does is set up his full court defense. Just watch him. Score. Calmly walks over this matchup. Boom. Ready to play defense. No unnecessary celebration. No yelling. No nothing. Right? No arguing with the ref. I think this just speaks of the professional that he is already. All right, coming into the next possession. High post touch, and this is also where clips like this give me PTSD from the summer leagues we had with him, where we had no way to stop him, right? These pinch post touches, high post touches are just where he's just unguardable from there, right? Always looking for the best option. And what we cannot forget, that boy has a flamethrower. Like, he can shoot it. Like I said, 42% from 3. Like, you don't want to give him any space. Right here, gets the steal, run out in transition. He can handle the ball as well. Right? You don't want to give him that much space. You already see that's exactly what he's looking for. Backing him in with one dribble, too much. And you see how quick he gets into his release, right? This is just as quick as we saw earlier on the breakdown. He is already at his release point before the defender can raise any of his hands. Right? It doesn't even matter which hands he wants to use for the closeout. Mirror the shooting hand. Don't mirror inside, outside hand. Makes no difference if you have a quick release like that. And that's just pure, right? 42% from 3. All right, last clip. That's one of my favorite clips from the first five games of the season, because that's just going to show his entire skill set in one clip, right? Inbound pass, he just gets ready, is patiently waiting on the weak side, right? So right here. Because they are playing this pick and roll to the outside of the court, his man is forced to help on the roll. We're going to see it. He's going to step in, tag on this roll right here. All right, so we saw big guy setting the screen in transition. They trying to ice him and double team the outside screen here. So Bryce is patiently waiting on the weak side. Again, great play design, yeah, by the head coach. They know they're going to tag with the high guy that leaves Bryce open on the catch. Right, they reverse, and now on the catch, he already has the advantage. He already has the defender on his heels, right? And he's already attacking to the middle with his big guy sealed to take away the help side and with a shooter in the corner. That's just great spacing right there, great play design, and just another compliment to the head coach over there in Oulu, playing to his player strengths, right? This is something that's very undervalued. Their coaches can find a system that makes their player strengths even more valuable, right? It's just a tough finish right there and one. I can only say how impressed I am by Bryce and his rookie season over in Finland. I don't want to say I'm surprised. I knew it was coming, but with those stats are very impressive. Tip my hat to the coaching staff, to him being ready to adjust to a new game of basketball. And just shout out to him, and also all young guys out there. Stay in touch with him. Watch Finnish basketball, watch European basketball. You're going to learn a lot more. Come to the next part of the show. One of my favorites is called the brain over bag, right? Brain over bag. We always talk about bag is not needed if you want to make it to the highest level. And I picked out a sequence from the Cup game earlier this week. Heat against the Pistons. Came down to the last possessions in overtime. And the reason I picked that is not because there's only one hell of a play design, right, by Detroit Pistons head coach, but also because there's so much to unpack, so many little details, so many intricacies that go into a possession that's just 0.7 seconds long. Start in full speed, then we're going to break it down. And after I explain everything I saw, I will play one more time in full speed so you guys can see exactly what I'm talking about. All right, and I want to say this from the beginning. I want to take this away. I'm not sitting in this chair trying to say how smart or how silly some coaches' decisions are. I'm not here to knock on Coach Spo. Everybody knows he's one of the best coaches ever, right? 17 years into it. I'm not here to critique anyone. I'm just here to share what I see and trying to teach people out on the screens what I see and how maybe next team is going to guard it differently, right? As we all know, basketball is a big gray area. It's not black and white thinking. It's not inside the box, right? There's so much that goes into one play that could have gone differently. Split seconds, right? Basketball is a game of mistakes. If everybody would be perfect in the game of basketball, every game would end 0-0. Right? Let's think about that for a second, right? So let's dive into this possession. We see the score. Heat are up 2. 1.8 seconds to go. So we knew that the play was going to go towards the rim, right? And in these situations, there are two players that are most dangerous, right? Number one, the inbounder. Right? If you see, you most likely going to see two setups of out of bounds plays in these situations. It's either ran for the inbounder, or in this case, it's going to be Jalen Duren for somebody who's setting a screen. So these are the two most dangerous guys on out of bounds plays right here. And we're going to see what happens. First thought that I have, why not put your biggest player on the inbounder to take away vision, right? He's deciding, like Spo decided to put Hero on Cade Cunningham right here as the inbounder. Again, no right, no wrong, right? It's his decision and he's going to stay confident with his decision. My second thought is, on the setup in general, if we know we only have 1.8 seconds and it has to be a quick three, or it has to be something going towards the rim, why is Bam Adebayo not hanging around here and zoning up? Why is he so far away from the rim, staying attached to Jalen Duren, which we know he's going to set a screen? And by the screen setup, you can already see it coming that there's going to be a screen-to-screen action with Terry Rozier's man. Again, I'm not here to say Spo messed that up. Like, just thoughts, right? That's why it's called the coach's mind, because we're going to talk things through. Fast forward a little bit. We see exactly how this play unfolds. Jalen Duren setting a back screen for shooter coming to strong side. As this is happening, we're going to have a screen-to-screener action. Smart play by Detroit Pistons coaching staff to take this defender out of the play, right? If they decided to put him in the corner, it would be an easy help towards the rim. They decided to park him out here, which takes away this help side defender. Smart play design over here, right? So, nothing came around here, but this is the action they've been waiting for. On the screen-to-screener action like this, one opportunity could be a switch. Now, the Heat took away the switch themselves by positioning Rozier on the low side and Adebayo on the high side. If they switch it, they still have the mismatch in the low post with Duren on Rozier. So what looks like a fancy play is more like a miscommunication and maybe even a misalignment on the Heat coaching staff, right? Let's run it back to the first thought I ran by you guys. If you had your tallest player guarding the inbound, you would take away this straight line pass right here. Right? The goal should be to make it as hard as possible for the inbounder. And by there is already too late. Ball is in the air. Bam is trailing 3 steps. Way too late to take this away. Yeah? And to make matters even worse, we see what happened here. Right? I don't know if you guys saw it in the aftermath. Coach Spo is taking a timeout in this situation, but we see the Heat are out of timeouts. Right? So to complete this entire meltdown of the Heat's catastrophic 1.8 seconds, they're giving the Pistons a free throw on a technical foul. For those of you that don't know the rule, if you ask for a timeout, but your team doesn't have any timeouts left, it's an automatic technical foul. On top of that, in the NBA, if a technical foul occurs, usually you don't lose possession. It's just one tech. In this situation, it would be one technical free throw for the Pistons. Heat would inbound the ball. They are down 1 and still have a chance to win. Now, in the NBA, there's a special rule. If you call an excessive timeout, in this special situation, you call a timeout that you don't have, you also lose the possession. This is the one exception to the rule, right? So with no timeouts left, Spo calls that timeout. This was game over. Post-game presser, he admitted his mistakes, and I think that just speaks volumes of Spo, right? If you saw how down he was on himself in the post-game presser, he knows he messed up. Right? He admitted his mistakes, showing vulnerability, which is huge as a head coach, right? So, yeah, brain over bag this week goes to this play. And you see, it's just a 0.7 seconds inbound alley-oop play, but there's a lot to unpack. I just hope that all viewers out there, once you watch a close basketball game for the next time, you see all these little details, timeouts, no timeouts. What is the alignment on offense, right? What is the alignment on defense? Like, there's so many details that can win or lose the game, as the Heat have unfortunately proven. All right, now that we have broken down all the details and I shared my insight with you, once again, no critique on Coach Spo. It's just my thoughts of how maybe I would react differently in this situation. I want to show you guys this play unfold in full speed one more time, and you can exactly follow along with what I was talking about. All right, flowing into the next part of this podcast, the play behind the highlight. You already know what it's about. It's a concept or play, and I'm trying to fight the stigma that players cannot learn from highlight plays, This is a monster dunk again that went through all social media channels. I've seen it on YouTube multiple times a day. I see kids reacting on it on social media. Talking about the Bruno Fernando dunk on Giannis, right? Nasty dunk, but I'm going to show you guys how this play unfolded, right? Like I did last time. And show you the play behind the highlight. Same rundown. I'm going to show it in full speed. We're going to break it down. And then I'm going to rewind it one more time for you guys.
The spot of Dame at the point guard spot. He's out for the time being. Oh, wow.
As I said, nasty play. So let's deep dive into the breakdown. So over here, play started with a pretty common concept in the NBA these days. 2 weak side screens with a player coming around. In basketball language, it's called stagger screen. If you have a double off-ball screen for somebody coming around, it's called a staggered screen. So by the way they run it, you can already see that they didn't even want to give the ball over here. This is just all misdirection to the action they really wanted to get to curl him through, right? He's going to move up to the weak side to place him on the weak side and have good spacing on wing and corner. And then they want to bring in Grady Dick after the second screen. We already know his superpower is shooting the ball. So similar to plays we see with Steph Curry, where he's involved as the screener, Klay Thompson, they want to use the shooter's gravity to open him up for the shot. So since the Bucks blow that up and he has no wide open shot, they rightfully so immediately flow into an empty side pick and roll. Empty side pick and roll means there's nobody in this corner. Like all offensive players are placed on the weak side and this corner is empty. So as we're going to see now, Bruno is going to slip the screen, which means he doesn't initiate contact with the on-ball defender, right? He slips it because you already see the alignment here. Excuse me. You see the defensive alignment here. They want to force Grady Dick back to the baseline and apply pressure on him, right? So by him slipping into space, he's going to relieve the pressure from Grady Dick with a quick bounce pass. And we're going to see this happening exactly right here, right? That pocket pass number one. This is to put the ball off the dribble into this pocket. That's why he's an NBA player, right? People underestimate the little things. And to me, everybody who's talked basketball with me knows how big of a fan I am of players who can pass the ball. I think it's a lost art these days, right? So much focus on empty cone drills that we forget how important it is to actually pass the ball. Perfect bounce pass right here. And now Giannis gets into the picture because he's helping out his teammate down here. It's not even supposed to be Giannis's help to come all the way over because his matchup is out here, right? He should be staying home with the shooter and his teammate should be stepping up from the low side. So by Giannis trying to help out his teammate, he ends up on the wrong side of the poster. You see it right here. And by now it's already too late. You see Giannis trying to make a business decision, ducking away in the last second. It's just not going to happen. Like by there, it's already the play unfolded. It is already too late. Even if Bruno, on the catch, decided to pass it out to the shooter, which was Giannis's initial matchup, it's too late, right? It's pick your poison. There's no way they can guard both of these actions, right? So I think that was a hell of a play design by the Toronto Raptors coaching staff and perfectly executed by the team. All right, and this is just business decision, yes or no. That's just the wrong side. You don't want to end up on that side of the poster right there. Okay, so I'm going to show this in real speed one more time, and you can see how fast the reaction is. We can appreciate Grady Dick's bounce pass right there, right? Like, there's just so many things going on at once. Like, very well executed.
Filling the spot of Dame at the point guard spot. He's out for the time being. Oh, wow.
I hope I can show that every highlight is created by a mistake or by somebody being exceptionally good on offense. We've seen here, defense, I think, was solid. Maybe wrong rotation by Giannis, but offensive execution, spacing, timing by the Toronto Raptors on that play, really, really good. Good. On top of the play behind the highlight and the brain over back segment, I want to introduce a new segment, which is called the Viral Jam. Why Viral Jam? I think this is a video that most of you have seen already, and I want to shed some light on the backstory of it. Bones Highland, as we see in this video, played his first couple years in Denver before he got traded to the Clippers. And we see him working out with the Clippers coaching staff, assistant coaches right there after practice. And I think this video was recorded at 11 at night, 11 p.m. So a little bit of background of the story and why I think this is so powerful and why this could be a message to every player out there who finds himself in the same situation as Bones. He played in 3 games total this season so far, right? Other than those 3 games, he has not seen the floor at all. He is averaging 4.3 minutes in these 3 games. All right, so if we add that up, that's 12 minutes in the entire NBA season so far for Bones Highland. He shot the ball 9 times. For a player, I wrote it down, for a player who almost averaged 20 minutes a game for the Denver Nuggets before he got traded, and even in his first season with the Clippers, he averaged 15 minutes. For a young player like him, who was called a promising young point guard, it's not easy. And I want to show this practice video right here of him staying ready. Right? There's no whining, there's no moping, I don't play. He's just working harder. Right? And I just want to let this video go for a minute, and then I think that speaks for itself. Right, like running full court sprints into corner threes, slot threes, that's not easy, but that's what it takes. This is why he's an NBA player, because he's pushing himself through these workouts, even though he's not playing. And I know there are players out there, high school, middle school, college, pro career, overseas, wherever you are. I know there are players out there going through the same situation. You might be the guy in your high school team. Now you move on to college and you're not the man no more, right? You're the freshman sitting at the end of the bench, barely playing garbage time this season. Or you just graduated college, you go to your first professional stop, whatever it is, G League, overseas, NBA, you don't play, it's going to happen. You're not always going to be the man, right? The more you level up, the harder it is to stay at that level and to prove yourself. As crazy as it sounds, it's easier to get to the next level than it is to stay at that next level. If you're not constantly working, and by the way, also shout out to the Clippers assistants right there. Right, there are 4 coaches with him invested in this boy's career. And I can already hear the haters. Yeah, they're getting paid to be there, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, but you still got to think about that. It's 11 at night, and there's 4 coaches rebounding for one player who's not even a star. Right? It's easy to rebound for James Harden. It's easy to rebound for someone like Paul George who wants to get in extra time, Steph Curry. Right? But for a guy at the end of the rotation, to still believe in him, show up at 11 when he calls you to need a rebounder, that's big time commitment by the coaching staff right there. All right, job or no job, that's just big time. I just want to finish that video real quick so you can see what the workout really took and how hard NBA players work to be one of the 450 players that can call themselves an NBA player. Right, so we just saw 5 shots after sprinting full court. He made 4 of them. If you're in an empty gym next time, try that. Right, if you can make 4 to 5, it was either luck or you're that good, right? But I would highly doubt that this is a regular guy shooting 4 to 5 after a full court sprint with no end goal in mind, right? Let's talk about this. This guy is preparing himself for a chance that he might never get. It's not guaranteed. Just because he's putting on the Clippers jersey every practice, every game, he's running around like he's get the gear, he's part of the team, he might never get the chance to play. But he's still relentlessly working to be ready when his name is called. And that's the dedication it takes. That's the work ethic it takes to get to the highest level and more importantly, to stay there. Okay, transitioning to the last part of the show is I want to give some advice out there. I know season is about to start, high school season starts, and I want to give out 5 tips or more or less advice, lessons, whatever you want to call it, for high school players this season, how you can maximize the next couple of months. Number one, the goal is always to improve. You made freshman, you made JV, you made varsity, it doesn't matter. The goal is to constantly get better. If you're a freshman, prove everybody that you belong on JV. Work so hard that JV coach is going to call you up. If you're on JV, work so hard, improve so much that you're going to be a varsity player by the end of the season. If you're on varsity already, work so hard that you can get the next step, whatever that is. You start on the bench, you want to get more minutes. You're a bench player, you want to become the sixth man. You're the sixth man, you want to become a starter. You want to become the starter, you want to be the man, right? The goal is to improve. Just because you made tryouts doesn't mean the work stop. Number 2, nutrition and hydration, right? Especially hydration. Please, please, please start putting electrolytes in your water. Treat your body the right way. Eat the right way. I was watching 4 high school games over the last 4 days, and I see kids cramping in 32-minute games, right? Everybody says, Coach, I want to play the entire game. Don't sub me out. I'm good. But ask yourself, are you really in shape to play the entire game of basketball, all 32 minutes? Are you treating your body right? Are you fueling your body right to be able to play the entire game? Because at the end of the day, coaches don't make the decision to sub you out. You make your decision by the way you treat your body and how you fuel it. Number 3, time management. Everybody knows with school coming up and basketball, there's a lot going on, and you want to be efficient with your time. Do your homework at school. Study hall. There's so many empty hours that you can have all around the day, because the worst day you want to do is come home for a hard practice, 8 p.m., 9 p.m., shower, eat a heavy dinner, and then study for a test the next day. Then do your homework, right? Go to bed late, wake up late, wake up tired. Be time efficient. Be smart about it, and just make sure you get all your grades done, right? Get your grades in line and make sure you're a student athlete. Number 4, continued development. Kind of going hand in hand with number 1. Team practice does not improve your skill set. Team practice is there to build team chemistry, to run through the system, right? I know there's a lot of old school coaches out there running play after play after play. This is not the time to work on your skills. And I'm not saying if you don't have a trainer, you don't get better. You can work out by yourself. Get shots up. Work on free throw routine. Use YouTube University if you don't know what to do. There's so many resources out there. Start becoming resourceful with it. There's a big difference. You have the resources. You got to become resourceful with it. Use it the right way. Find ways to improve, right? And goes hand in hand with it. Watch extra film. You have so much time on your hand. You constantly, all the screen time, use it correctly. Use extra film. If you don't know what to look for, ask your coach, ask your trainer, right? YouTube is full of entire games. I don't want to hear any excuses. I don't know where to watch games. NBA is on. College basketball is on. European season is going. Like, there's so much basketball to watch. Don't find an excuse. Find a solution. And then last thing, continuous improvement, body hygiene. Do you stretch every day? Do you foam roll? Do you do cold tubs? Do you take your hot and cold shower, contrast shower, right? Not only nutrition and fuel is important, but also body hygiene. Number 5, and the last one, communication. Set yourself the goal to be the connector on the team. If you're relationship rich, then you will be taken care of. And that goes way beyond the game of basketball. If you want to be the man, you want to do something good for your team, be the connector. Build relationships with your teammates. Build a relationship with your coaches. Be someone who asks for advice. Build a relationship with the AD. Build a relationship with the custodian, with the janitor who gives you extra gym time, right? The more relationships you build, the more you communicate, the easier your life will become. These are the 5 points I want to give you guys, right? You want to take all 5 of them to heart. You want to take one of them to heart. It's all up to you. At the end of the day, don't forget, we coaches, we can only give you an opportunity. You decide if you bring the determination and combine it with the opportunity we give you guys to get to the level where you want to get to. Second episode, The Coach's Mind. Thank you guys for tuning in. I want to open this up and open the mailbag for you guys. So whatever question you have, hit me up on Instagram, put it in the show notes, comment on YouTube. I would love to answer your guys' questions, comments, concerns, anything, and want to get this mailbag out here, build this community going forward, because this is not supposed to be just me telling you guys what to do. I want to build this into a conversation. The more I can help you out there, the more successful we all get. Until next time, thank you for tuning in.